Good afternoon, and what is a warm, bright and breezy day. It is Wednesday the 2nd of April. I'm in the reading up with a nice hot cup of tea. And a box to continue unboxing. What I've got in here is History Without the Boring Bits, which is one of those books I picked up secondhand on my visit to Concrete Cow in Wolverton, just outside Milton Keynes. It's a convention that runs twice a year, takes place in a community centre, and part of that community centre, there's some shops, including quite a large second-hand bookshop. Books are really cheap, and it's, I usually spend far too much money there. This time I didn't, just picked up a couple of books, one of which was actually a role-playing game, which I was very surprised to see. But History Without the Boring Bits by Ian Crofton. A chronology of curiosities that adds up to an alternate history of the world. From the cat piano to the pig-faced lady, from Ilma the flying monk to the nephew of the Almighty, from the flatulent Empress of France to the president abducted by aliens, often jaw-dropping, sometimes gruesome, frequently hilarious, but always irresistibly fascinating. And this is Quercus History / Humour. As the publisher, so yeah, this is sort of like one of those books where I describe as a toilet book. Well, what I mean by that is a book you sort of like you have there, you sat there, and you just you want something to read whilst you're sat on the throne, as it were. I know, not everyone does that, and it takes time, and you want to take your mind off it, and short, pithy, paragraphs or descriptions of history like this is essentially all you're going to want. You don't need anything longer than that. So imagine a history lesson that spares you the details of such similar events as the First Crusade, that fails to say much at all about the Congress of Vienna, and that entirely neglects to mention the world-changing moment that was the American Declaration of Independence. Imagine a book that tells you about Roman law that lifted the ban on breaking wind at banquets, about the cadaver synod at which the putrefying corpse of a medieval pope was put on trial for past crimes, about the Nazi expedition to find a subterranean race of superhumans in Tibet, not to mention the first goat to circumvent the globe twice. Imagine a book crammed with such deliciously unnecessary but strangely compelling tales, and you have History Without the Boring Bits. By turns bizarre, surprising, engaging and enlightening, History Without the Boring Bits offers an endlessly browsable, as you see what I mean, cornucopia of curiosities for those who have grown wary of more conventional works of history. Now, I love conventional works of history, when I get to time to read them, but I also love trying to come up with the trivia and just the oddities and weirdness. So, broken down by eras, starting off with the ancient world, and there we've got to the Emperor Caligula's floating palace on Lake Nemi near Rome, and we start off with 75 million years ago, and proceed forward. So things like circa 456 BC, Tortoise slays playwright. The Greek dramatist Aeschylus died when an eagle dropped his tortoise on his bald head. Now, that's not that's interesting, but not particularly obscure. It is known. Or 390 BC, geese saved Rome. The sacred geese on the Capitoline Hill in Rome saved the city by making such a noise as the besieging Gauls attempted a covert night attack that the guards were roused and repelled the invaders. That's more interesting. So yes, just going through year by year, and there you've got a depiction of the Emperor Caligula having his favourite horse to dinner. In Senatus, discussion there of Robert Nero. What am I thinking of? Emperor Nero ordering the death of his mother, Agrippina, and so on, and so on. So this is quite short. We go on to the Middle Ages. So this runs from 582. Well, we have Brunhilde of Austrasia, about to be torn apart or possibly dragged to death by wild horses. Essentially, hate of her cruelty and avarice was eventually overthrown at the age of 70. The Liber Historiae Francorium details her fate. King Clotaire ordered that she be lifted onto a camel and led through the entire army. Then she was tied to the feet of wild horses and torn apart limb from limb. Finally, she died. Her grave was the fire. Her bones were burnt. So there's some that can be quite short and pithy, but some can be quite lengthy, like the life, adventures and opinions of Colonel George Hanger in 1801, or the Sea Serpent of St. Helena, and then essentially come up to more modern times. Virginia Woolf, this is in 1910, and the Emperor of Abyssinia. Horace de Vere Cole undertook his most successful practical joke when he dressed up as the Emperor of Abyssinia and was received on such as on board HMS Dreadnought, flagship of the Royal Navy's home fleet, accompanying with the various courtiers, including suitably disguised Virginia Stephen, later to be found famous as the novelist Virginia Woolf. So some of these are ridiculous, a lot of it's pretty silly, but worth browsing through, and all the way up to let's have a look, see how far forward it comes. Let me see. Invention 1975. Invention provides cheeky derriere relief. Gillian Newmar, the actress known for her role as a Catwoman on TV, was granted a patent for the pantyhose with shaping band for cheeky derriere relief. All the way up to, what's the most, 2007, shit permitted in Parliament. 9th of January, Sir Michael Lord, the Deputy Speaker of the House of Commons, ruled that the word shit was not necessarily in parliamentary language. It is been uttered by Fiona McTaggart, a Labour MP for Slough, in context of discussion about sewerage, and Sir Michael stated that it was perfectly appropriate to use the word in that way that the Honourable Lady used it. The phrase, peck-sniffing cant continues to be forbidden to members, however, whatever that actually means. So, honestly, then basically a list of the author's previous works. If you are looking for just some ridiculous facts and things, and essentially this is possibly worth tracking down. But you've got plenty of books like this on the shelf. This dates, let's have a look. 2007. So yes, up to date when it came out, and it is signed. Not sure by whom, but nevertheless, that's a very silly book to have on your shelf, but full of wonderful facts and pieces of information. Well, in the meantime, I do hope you enjoyed this unboxing in the Nook. If you did, then please do click on the like button down below. And of course, if you've got any comments or feedback, I do appreciate you taking the time to post those. And lastly, if you want to be alerted to yet more unboxings in the Nook, where you will see me out here with a box containing a book or game or role-playing supplement, which I will unbox and chat about to the best extent of my knowledge for roughly 10 minutes or so, all of course accompanied by a nice hot cup of tea, then please do click on the subscribe button down below. In the meantime, thanks for watching another unboxing in the Nook. I'll be back again soon with another one. Bye for now.